Tracy asks here, can you talk about Kundalini awakening bringing you into extreme isolation, extreme break from your previous life, placing you into a difficult living environment with people who don't understand why your life has been stalled to such a degree? Kundalini blocking you from moving forward and not giving much info as to where your path is headed. I feel like I need to remind myself that I am sane living in an insane situation. Yes, Tracy. Yeah, so I think one thing we all should take a moment to acknowledge here is the fact that we are connecting on the internet implies that we are worldly people within society having an experience of spiritual awakening that typically people don't have in society, right? This is why they created containers, ashrams, temples, retreats, right? Places in the mountains where you could go and be amongst people who do get what this is, who can support you through it, who understand, right? So, absolutely, when you find yourself here in society going through this and things aren't going well, like, yeah, this is not unusual. Like people figured that out a long time ago. They figured it out. Like you can't go through this easily in the world. So they made it easy. They made these environments, right? And then around that, all sorts of culture, tradition, religion, different systems were formed. Um, even if you weren't necessarily going through this process, but you do recognize the validity of this process, it's also built into some cultures to go and, offer some donation or money or support to those who have dedicated themselves to the spiritual path in the name of your karma, right? So it's systematic support for those going through this process traditionally. But here in the West, like we don't have that, right? We really don't have that. You tell people you want to dedicate your life to your spiritual process, and they think you're like, you're gone crazy or something, right? Whereas at other times or other places in the world, you say that and they say, wow, like that's so admirable of you. I wish I could do the same thing, but I don't have it in me right now. But I will support you through it. I'll, give you some donation, or I'll do this or I'll do that, or I'll hire you to do some ritual for me. I'll support you as you explore spirituality because we recognize that this is going to benefit all beings, right? Or benefit the entire planet, right? So that's what it was, could be. It's still like that some places, I'm sure, but like that's like an ideal situation. Over here, we have people that are just like, what's wrong with you, right? It's very, very difficult. So I want to, I guess, lead with that by saying like, yeah, like your situation like is like, of course it's hard. This is a hard process to go through. Very hard, very hard. Um, However, I feel, and you may have to tune into this within yourself. I feel that many of us are here today because in previous lifetimes we did this path to a degree in the easy place, in the ashram, in the monastery where people got us and we were supported and we can really dedicate ourselves to it. Then we said, okay, I want to do this a little differently this time. How? Well, let me do it in a place where I'm not supported. Let's see what that's like. And now we're here. I know, I mean, I could say it's for a fact that this has been my trajectory. I had to, at some point, um, how can I put it? When I was in a lot of isolation, stuck, broke, uh, basically living as if I was a recluse, but not actually a recluse. I spoke to Matt Kahn on one of his events, and what he tuned in, he said, Brent, this is your situation right now because in your previous incarnation, you were actually a monk. And as a monk, you took particular renunciation vows, that you'll renounce, worldly life. And you were so committed to those vows that they have actually stuck with you into this lifetime in an environment that you no longer need to maintain those vows. And so he walked me through, it was on a live call with many people, kind of like this, much more people though. Anyway, he walked me through like some sort of, statement affirmation type practice where I basically um, gave up those vows and allowed myself to return back into the world and actually enjoy all of this relationships, wealth, hanging out, going to listen to music, and all these types of things. So perhaps there are some historical vows that are still affecting your life at this time that keep you stuck. Tune in and see. That may be what it is. I know that sounds completely crazy too. I understand that, but it may be something there. And you can see if you can kind of tune into that and then give yourself permission to move into another phase of relating with the world um, with detachment, yet still also being able to enjoy. This is a higher way of operating, I think, right? Enjoying all that life has to offer without being attached, as opposed to just not enjoying anything and saying you're a renunciate. So maybe that's something that you can explore a little bit in yourself. You can talk to whatever guidance you have inside and see what comes up around that. I know that when I did that, as supported by Matt Kahn, it really landed for me. It really landed for me, and I had to give myself permission to like be in the world, right? So I hope that means something to you. And Lisa shares you're going through the same thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a very hard path that we're on here. Very hard. You could it's hard in its own right, but it's you could argue that it's easier to do this, in some sort of spiritual environment.